It all started with a mistake that should never have happened, a moment of arrogance wrapped in perfume and polished. Floor is the kind of moment that looks small from the outside but grows into a storm the second you touch it. This is the story of how one manager pressed the wrong button, called security on the wrong woman, and ended an entire career with a single assumption. And before we continue, tell me in the comments who you are and where you're watching from, which city you're in right now, and if you want more stories like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel and leave a like on this video, because this one, you won't believe how it ends. Maya Harper had walked into the boutique with the calm confidence of someone who didn't need to announce who she was. She wore a soft charcoal sweater, simple jeans, hair pulled back in a low bun, the kind of look that made her blend in anywhere, and that was exactly why she liked it. She wasn't interested in flashing status or attracting attention. She simply came to buy a gift for her niece, who had just been accepted into her dream university. But in places like this boutique, appearances weren't just noticed. They were judged, ranked, and sorted. And today, Maya was about to be placed in the wrong category. The manager on duty, Lauren, carried herself like she owned the building, even though she only owned a set of keys and an inflated sense of authority. She had a sharp voice, tight smile, and a habit of scanning people like merchandise. The moment Maya stepped inside, Lauren's eyes narrowed not in curiosity, but in suspicion. The silent suspicion that comes disguised as professionalism but soaked in prejudice. Maya walked toward the display of limited edition handbags, drawn to a soft blue leather model she knew her niece had wanted for months. She lifted it gently, feeling the stitching, appreciating the craftsmanship. But while she admired the work, Lauren admired something else. The chance to prove she was right about Maya. To her, Maya didn't look like someone who belonged in this store. It wasn't the clothes or the lack of jewelry. It was the combination of subtle things Lauren had collected in her mind all her life. The harmful stereotypes she wrapped in fancy words like protocol and store policy. She whispered to one of her associates, and the ripple effect began instantly. Associates suddenly found urgent tasks elsewhere. No one greeted Maya. No one asked if she needed help. Some hovered near cameras. Others pretended to reorganize shelves while keeping her in view. Maya noticed, of course, but years of experience had taught her to stay calm, to wait, to hold her dignity like a shield. She carried herself with quiet grace as she continued exploring the shelves, unaware that Lauren had already decided her fate. The moment Maya lifted the handbag to check the price tag, Lauren interpreted it not as interest, but as intent. And without a moment of hesitation, she tapped the security button beneath the counter, a button meant for emergencies, real emergencies, not her invented ones. A loud chime echoed in the back room, and 2 security officers stepped out. Big, muscular, and underpaid, they walked toward Maya with rehearsed authority, the kind that doesn't ask questions before acting. Lauren followed behind them, her voice already raised as if she were performing for an invisible audience. "Ma'am, put the item down," she demanded sharply. Maya blinked, surprised by the abrupt tone. "I'm just looking at it," she replied softly, turning to place the bag back. But Lauren wasn't interested in explanations. She wanted a scene. She wanted to feel powerful. "We've had theft issues lately," Lauren announced loudly, making sure nearby customers heard. "You need to step away from the merchandise and open your bag." The room fell silent. Maya froze, her heart pounding not from guilt but from the humiliating familiarity of the situation. She had lived this moment before in different forms, different places, different voices, but the same message every time: "You don't belong here." "You can check my purchase history if you want," Maya said calmly. "I'm a regular customer." Lauren laughed, an ugly, dismissive laugh. "People like you say that all the time." The phrase hit the air like poison. Customers exchanged uncomfortable glances. One whispered, "Did she really just say that?" But Lauren didn't care. The 2 guards stepped closer, their tone firm, demanding identification, demanding she empty her pockets, demanding she justify her right to exist in that space. Maya stayed composed. She reached for her wallet and pulled out a sleek black metal card. The kind of card you don't get by accident. The kind that requires 7-figure balances and private invitations. She held it out gently. "I was planning to buy the bag," she said. "This card should be enough to verify that." But Lauren didn't even look at it. She rolled her eyes dramatically. "Oh, please. Anyone can order a fake card online. I've seen better counterfeits." A few customers gasped. One even took out a phone, recording everything. The energy in the room shifted from discomfort to outright disbelief. Maya wasn't just being humiliated. She was being accused, targeted, assaulted with assumptions. The officers insisted she follow them to a back room for further inspection. Maya refused, her voice calm but firm. "I'm not going anywhere with you. I've done nothing wrong." Lauren snapped her fingers at the guards like they were her personal animals. "Escort her out, now." And as the officers moved toward her, something happened that Lauren hadn't expected. Someone in the store recognized Maya. A young man near the jewelry counter stared wide-eyed for a moment, then stepped forward. "Wait, stop," he said loudly. "That's Maya Harper." "You don't know who you're talking to," Lauren scoffed. "And who exactly is she?" The man swallowed, almost shocked by her ignorance. "She's the co-founder of one of the biggest accessory brands in the country, Harper & Row. Their company is in negotiations to acquire this boutique's parent company." Silence. Sharp, heavy, suffocating silence. The entire room changed temperature. The guards froze mid-step. Customers stopped breathing. Maya stood tall, still calm, still composed. But now every eye in the boutique was on her. Not as a suspect, but as a leader, a visionary, a woman with power none of them had bothered to imagine. And Lauren turned pale. She looked at Maya as if seeing her for the first time, realizing the disaster she had just created out of thin air. Maya didn't need to raise her voice. She didn't need to threaten. Her silence alone carried the weight of a corporate earthquake. And that earthquake was just beginning. The moment Maya's identity settled into the air, everything inside the boutique shifted like furniture sliding in an earthquake. Lauren's lips trembled as she tried to force a smile that came out more like a wince. The guards lowered their hands, stepping back, suddenly aware of how deeply they had stepped into something far bigger than a shoplifting accusation. The young man who had recognized Maya looked between the employees and shook his head in disbelief. Everyone else remained frozen, phones out, recording, documenting every second of what would soon reshape an entire company's future. But Maya didn't gloat. She didn't smirk. She didn't revel in the reversal. She simply breathed in slowly and said, "I'll be reporting this incident to my legal team." The words landed like a verdict. Lauren stuttered. "Ms. Harper, I didn't know. I was only following protocol?" Maya asked softly, "Or following a stereotype?" Lauren opened and closed her mouth like she was drowning without water. No explanation she could invent would save her now. Not after the things she had said. Not after the humiliation she had inflicted. Maya turned to the guards. "I hope you understand how inappropriate your behavior was." The older guard nodded, face flushed with shame. "Yes, ma'am," he murmured. "We're very sorry." Maya didn't respond. She had no desire to soothe their conscience. That wasn't her job. The customers watched in silence as Maya gently placed the handbag back on the display and headed toward the exit. But the story didn't end when she walked through those glass doors. In many ways, it was only beginning. By the time Maya reached her car, the first videos of the incident were already hitting social media. Clips of Lauren accusing her. Clips of the guards circling her. Clips of Maya standing calm and dignified while being treated like a criminal. Hashtags formed before she even turned the ignition. Hashtag shopping while black. Hashtag Maya Harper. Hashtag do you know who this is? Comments flooded in. Influencers reposted it. Journalists requested statements. And within an hour, the boutique's official accounts were being bombarded with calls for accountability. But the real shockwave hit the corporate headquarters. Because Maya's company wasn't just in preliminary discussions with the boutique's owners. They were in final negotiations. Lawyers were drafting acquisition terms. Investors were preparing statements. Everyone expected the deal to close within days. Now the board panicked. Emergency meetings were called. Executives scrambled to release statements about deep regret and commitment to diversity training, but it was too late. The public had already chosen a side, and it wasn't theirs. Meanwhile, Maya sat in her office at Harper & Row, watching the storm unfold with the same calmness she had shown in the store. She didn't need to add fuel to the fire. The truth was burning on its own. Her legal team documented everything: screenshots, videos, witness statements, employee histories, customer complaints from the past that suddenly resurfaced. Patterns emerged, patterns the boutique's leadership claimed didn't exist. The next morning, the CEO of the boutique's parent company called Maya personally. His voice was tight, panicked, filled with desperation. He begged to resume negotiations, promised immediate disciplinary action, offered public apologies. Maya listened. She didn't interrupt. And when he finished, she said, "I want to be doing business with a company that treats my customers the way your employees treated me." The CEO tried to argue, but Maya ended the call gently, decisively. With one sentence, she collapsed a deal worth millions. Within hours, investors reacted. Stock prices dipped. Analysts criticized leadership. Former employees came forward sharing their own stories of discrimination behind the scenes. And Lauren was fired before lunchtime. Her name became a symbol online, a warning about the cost of arrogance. She posted an apology video, of course. Red eyes, shaky voice, the usual. But no one believed it. No one trusted it. Because the world had heard exactly what she thought in her own unfiltered words. Maya didn't respond publicly for 2 full days. People waited, speculated, debated. Then she released a short, calm statement. Respect is not optional. Every customer deserves dignity. My company will not partner with any brand that stands against those values. The statement went viral instantly. Celebrities reposted it. Business leaders praised it. And the boutique's reputation unraveled even further. Stores reported drops in foot traffic. Customer reviews were flooded with criticism. A week later, a competing luxury chain announced a collaboration with Harper & Row, highlighting inclusivity and ethical leadership. Their stock soared. The boutiques continued to sink. And through it all, Maya stayed exactly who she had been from the beginning. A woman who didn't need to shout to be heard. A woman who understood that true power doesn't live in how loudly you speak, but in how firmly you stand. In the end, Maya returned to the same shopping district, not to the boutique that had humiliated her, but to a different store where she bought the blue handbag for her niece. No questions asked, no suspicions, just kindness. And as she left the store with the gift bag in her hand, she thought about how small moments reveal the biggest truths. You never know who you're talking to. You never know who you're judging. And sometimes, the person you try to belittle is the one who holds your future in the palm of her hand. If you enjoyed this story and want more powerful justice narratives like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel and leave a like on this video. It helps more than you know.